Both sides really are coming into this season in mixed bag of form, but you get the sense that because of what happened in Europa League, Gary, that Spurs may be in a bit of a better mood tonight.
Well, possibly so, but, that was last week or midweek, and it's all about today. You can dwell on the past, you can look ahead to the future, but it's all about today. And when you look at these two sides, Manchester United and Spurs, they've both underachieved this season and they need to start to achieve. They're side by side in the table. I don't think either sets of fans are particularly impressed with how it's gone so far. So it's a huge game.
Yeah, since the start of April, both of these two sides have combined points of 36, which is actually less than what Manchester City have alone. And exactly what Gary says, both sides started hit and miss. They both have 2 wins, 2 losses, a draw. Managerial-wise, Ange, I feel, is starting to rub fans the wrong way. Ten Hag has always been never sort of gotten along with the fans, never sort of been understood really well there. But who do you feel today between the two managers, Sharpie, that needs to win more?
I suppose Erik Ten Hag, because it's the bigger club, and in Manchester United are never more than 2 games away from a crisis. So he's a little bit under pressure. I think they've shown in flashes in games of really good stuff, but then they've shown flashes where it's been really poor stuff. And I think what we've asked for from Erik Ten Hag for the last couple of seasons is consistency, and we're still looking for that. And I think that's why the fans are a little bit disappointed that they haven't found that yet. Is
this a sort of statement of victory, if it is Erik Ten Hag, that can maybe kick on with the season? Because the 2 wins that United had so far was against newly promoted side Southampton and against Fulham as well, which you could argue they were maybe a little bit lucky in that one.
Yeah, Tottenham are a team that, probably competing in the table with to finish in that top 6 position, I think. So you've got, if you want to finish in the top 6 of the table, you've got to beat the likes of Tottenham. They've not started well, we've not started well, but hopefully today, if you get the momentum, get the players playing well, working together, converting some of them chances that you're creating, it might kick you on. Because I think it was last season, or maybe the season before, we played Spurs at home, beat them 2-1, and then we went on a run and put some results together. So yeah, it's always a good game, Spurs and United. So it won't be an easy task today, but it's a task that they need to be up for, and they need to show the manager that they can do it.
Considering, like I said, they both come in really inconsistent, but there seems to be more pressure on Erik Ten Hag. Why is that? And not as much maybe on Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, because it's Man United. No matter where you go in the world, everyone knows who Man United is. So that adds extra responsibility, extra...
People are far more critical on Ten Hag and what he does.
Yeah, exactly. Like Lee said, you're only ever a couple of games away from a crisis. So it's, when things are going well, it's, it's just Man United. But when things don't go to plan, it's, this is wrong, this is wrong. It's all doom and gloom. So they've got to find a way, this group of players, of trying to block out all the noise going in from the outside and really stick together as a team, get on board with the manager and try and get the results that they desperately need.
How hard is it to progress as a squad, and maybe from a manager's perspective as well, and a player, when you have so much noise around you that the moment you make an error, the moment something goes wrong, everyone jumps on your back? Because some people might say, look, there are some positive improvements under Erik Ten Hag. They are starting to have a bit more control in games, starting to build up from the back a little bit better. But the moment it goes wrong, you then have the tendency to revert back to your transitional football. You can't build on something if people are constantly criticising you and you're reacting to it. So how difficult is that, you feel?
It's part of the job. It's one of the biggest jobs in football, if not the biggest. And I think we have seen improvements defensively. I don't think they're giving quite as many chances away to teams, but they're not converting chances. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think they are trying to play out from the back a little bit more and probably doing it a little bit better. But we saw it against Liverpool, 3 individual mistakes, giving the ball away in poor areas that cost goals and you get punished. But for me, it's the goal scoring. It's the other end of the pitch for me. They're creating lots of chances and not putting them. I think they're number 1 in big chances created and not scoring at the moment. So, if they could put some of them away, then the whole season changes.
I think that's the contrasting thing in terms of United and Spurs today, Gary, is what's in the dugout, really. Because you have this Ten Hag who's sometimes can flip-flop between his tactics and can be a little bit reactive because of the pressure. But then Ange, The more you tell him he's doing something wrong, the more he's going to stamp down and be like, no, this is my way, and I'm going to do it this way.
Yeah, I think, Ange Postecoglou has decided that he is going to stick with his principles. He has had success playing this way at other clubs in Scotland, in Japan, in the J League, in Australia as well. So, and he believes that's the right way. And if you can't back your own judgment, then I think you're in a really vulnerable position. Some people would say he's being stubborn, but I actually personally like it. And there was a fans meeting which Postecoglou attended midweek at Spurs with some shareholders and everything there. And he said, we will win trophies at this club, and when we win them, it will be glorious. He is unbelievably positive, in my opinion, but what he has done is he's stuck his neck right in the block. Now he has to win, doesn't he?